How many times we hear from our grandparents, from our uncles, saying, make sure you do this, don't forget about doing that. Or our mom and dad says, make sure you do this, or don't forget this. When you do this, do X or Y. But we don't like to hear that. We want to go through their same mistakes. We want to hear the same things or go through experiences that we shouldn't, because we need to learn from our past. We need to learn from their past. We need to learn from history. But I feel like you and I sometimes want to learn the hard way. And that is not the best way to learn. We might have tears. We might go through things that are really hard that could be avoided. For instance, mom says, don't touch the pan because it's hot. And I hope we have learned when we're little kids or a little bit as an adult to not touch that pan because we're going to get burned. I think that is the part that, and not just a small, simple samples like I just described, but in many ways like our parents or our friends tell us, go to college, finish university, take another class, read another book, do this because it's going to help you. Yes, you can start that business, but on the side, make sure you finish your graduate school. Make sure you're doing this or make sure you're doing that. I feel like a lot of times, and I know that I have described or said this in the past, where a young couple get married, most of the time the young lady says, oh, I'm going to work. I'm going to drop out of school or I'm going to drop out of college, whatever you want to call it, and get a job, a full-time job, so my husband can be able to work, go to school full-time. Then when he graduates, then I go back to work. How often do you hear that? So often, don't you? And then how often or what is the percentage of those young ladies that go back to school? Maybe very few, because at that point, the husband is already working, the mom or the young lady has a couple kids, and they never start their education, never continue their education. I think those are things that are very important not to do that. And mom says, hey, make sure you do that. I think the saying says, those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Let's try that you and I not be in those shoes. So I think that's our best or my best suggestion right now that I have for you. And don't forget, if option A or B is not there, remember there's still 24 other letters that we can have for plants. Your friend Dan Cifuentes.